Trump again warns Iran, this time with a 10 days ultimatum.
They must make a deal, or if that doesn't happen, I maybe can understand. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But bad things will happen. So now we may have to take it a step further, or we may not. Maybe we're going to make a deal. You're going to be finding out over the next probably 10 days.
Here Matthew Ho, a former captain at the U.S. Marine Corps, reacts.
This is not a stunt. The type of force the United States is putting into the Middle East is one that is capable of carrying out the operations that those in Washington, D.C. wanted to carry out. Certainly, we see the aircraft carriers, we see the destroyers, we see the fighter squadrons, but more importantly, you're seeing the specialized aircraft, so the electronic warfare aircraft and the command and control aircraft that the U.S. Air Force is only going to put into the region in the numbers that they're putting them into the region if they're serious about using them. We see the United States moving the Gerald Ford aircraft carrier back to the Mediterranean. If people recall, the Ford went from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean to take part in the operation to kidnap Nicolas Maduro, and now they're sending it back. So you already have an aircraft carrier there. Why are you going to extend this other aircraft carrier, have it go halfway around the globe if you don't think you're really going to need it? So all this, I think, is really a preparation for war, and the only way to avoid war, I think, at this point, or the likely way to avoid war at this point, is by the Iranians to capitulate. For the Iranians, I think the context has to go back much further. First and foremost in the Iranian minds has to be whether or not they can trust the Americans. Certainly a deal was made with the Iranians more than a decade ago, the JCPOA, which limited Iran's nuclear activities, which the Trump administration in 2018 pulled out of unilaterally, as well as the history of U.S.-Iranian military conflict, more especially the last several years, the last decade or so, of U.S. and Israeli sabotage, assassinations of scientists, cyber attacks on Iran. All these things have to add up for the Iranians to bring them to a place where how could they trust the Americans, as well as also understanding that for 45 years there has been hostility towards Iran. This, of course, comes from the overthrow of the Shah, the hostage crisis in 1979. And so the Iranians, I think, have to look at this way that many in Washington, D.C., as well as in Tel Aviv, see this as a possibility for that history to culminate, for that long struggle between the U.S. and Iran to finally come to an end.